Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how you can actually make um, images that are much larger than your cutting mat will allow. And so this Minnie Mouse I did yesterday, and there is nothing printed here. This is all cardstock that I cut out using Cricut Design Space. This image also came from Cricut Design Space. It was $1.99 because it's a Disney character and it's not a part of the monthly subscription. This is 11 and a half inches wide by 23 and a half inches tall. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can do the same thing in Cricut Design Space. I used 11 by 17. No, I used a larger, let me get it right, 12 by 24. I used a 12 by 24 sheet of gray cardstock, and then I spray painted it black. So you can see it was gray. And I spray painted it black because I didn't have any black cardstock. Um, and so today I'm going to be showing you how to do this, but I'm going to show you how to slice it in half, or the back part in half, to where you don't see any slice on the front, using just either 12 by 12 and 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Okay. Instead of the larger size cardstock. And this is going to be for those of you that don't have access to a larger size cardstock, like the 12 by 24. I'm going to show you how to do it with a smaller size. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, guys, here we are inside Cricut Design Space. And I brought this Mickey character in by going to images. And then I just typed in Mickey. You can also type in Disney, and that'll give you all of the characters that are within Cricut Design Space. And this one shows that I purchased it because that's the character that I just showed you that I did, Minnie by the 11 by 5 by 23 and a half. But all of these are out here for your use. They do cost $1.99 each, but once you purchase it, it's yours to use, um, for the duration. Okay. So since I've already uploaded mine, the first thing I'm going to do is I want to say for this particular project, you want to make sure you're using an SVG, which is a scalable vector graphic file, because that's going to allow you to either have layers here on the right hand side, or you'll have access to contour to go in and access your layers. Okay. But it's not going to work with a JPG. So I'm also using a laptop computer. So for those of you that are using your cell phone, these instructions are not specific to a cell phone. It's specific to using or accessing Cricut Design Space via your laptop. All right. So the first thing we want to do once we bring our image in is we want to go ahead and unlock the proportions here so we can go ahead and make our Mickey the size that we want it. Now, because my mat is a 12 by 24, I'm going to be doing 11 by 5 by 22. And normally you could go with 23 and a half, but I'm going to be using 2 sheets of black cardstock, and they are 12 by 12s. So that's why I'm going to do 22 so that I can make sure I can get half of them on one and half of them on the other. Okay. If I do 23 and a half, then I'll be sliding myself because I'll have to go more than 12 by 12 in measurement. Okay. So what I'm going to do is once I get my Mickey the size that I want it, and again, I have it at 11.5 by 22 in height, I'm going to go over here to the right where my layers are, and I'm going to go ahead and deselect by clicking on the eye. I'm going to deselect everything except for the black. Okay. So this is all we want to be able to see is just a black portion. And all of our other cardstock colors are going to be sitting on top of this black layer here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice Mickey in half, and we want to slice him in half at about 11 and a half, so that 11 and a half and 11 and a half is going to give us excuse me, at 11, and then that will give us the full size of 22, okay? Because remember, we have him at 22 inches tall. So we want to do 11, a slice at 11. So I got him at the very top here. So what we're going to do is just take a shape, and I'm just going to use a square. And I'm going to bring that square down all the way to the 11 mark. And make sure I got all of them in there. And that way we're going to have half of him to print, and let's see, or cut. 4, 6, 11. Okay, so we're going to have half of him to cut cut out on our 12 by 12, and the other half to cut out on 12 by 12. So we're going to go ahead and highlight both, and then in the bottom right corner we're going to click on slice. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and get rid of the black outline here, the square, and there's going to be another black outline in here that we're also going to be getting rid of. So we'll just move it over like that, and we'll get rid of this one that's kind of like a grayish color. We don't need that. So now we have our Minnie sliced in, or Mickey sliced in half. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Minnie. And so what we'll do is we will tape this together, and then we will put everything on top of him after we tape them together. And you will not be able to see this slice here. So because we're going to have stuff sitting on top of it, okay? Or color sitting on top of him. Like this is the hand area. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hide this portion of our Mickey. And then we're going to take a look at the other parts to make sure that we'll be able to get them on 11.5 by 22. Okay, so this one will fit perfectly, and we can go ahead and hide the heart, and then we're going to bring in his little shorts here, and they're going to be big enough. And then we have this white piece here, which is going to be the eyes and all that good stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and slice this as well. And we're going to be using 2 large sizes of cardstock for this as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to slice this one in half as well. So we're going to go and get our shape again. We're going to bring it up, and we are going to bring that down to 11. And we want to make sure we have enough that it covers up everything. Okay. All right. So now we have that. We're going to go ahead and highlight them both. And we're going to slice. Let me make sure I got this at 11. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and highlight them both and slice. So we're going to delete that. And we're going to delete that, and now we have the white portion sliced in half so that we'll be able to get this on a 12 by 12 as well. So we'll have 2 pieces of white cardstock, we'll have 2 pieces of black cardstock, and then we'll have a very minimal amount of for the heart and for the shorts. And that is pretty much all we're going to need. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring everything to the front just to see what it's going to be looking like. Hold on one second. Okay, forgot our face. So we're gonna ungroup this. And when we ungroup that, we're gonna go ahead and, 1 second. We're gonna bring that over for our heart. We can hide that for now. And the shorts, we can hide those for now. And what we're going to do is we are going to slice this so that we'll have the hand by itself and then both hands by themselves instead of broken up like this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to insert a shape, and I'm just going to do another square here. And we just want to make it large enough so that we can slice the face. That sounds kind of funny, right? Slice the face. And we're going to separate it from the hands. So I have the hands and the face highlighted. We're going to slice. And now we're going to get rid of the black. And we're going to keep the face together. So this right here will fit. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to do the same thing with the hands. We're going to go ahead and slice the hands. And what I'm doing, guys, is basically just making sure that I can get as many components on a sheet of paper as possible. So that's why I'm slicing it up like this. And then we're gonna go in here and knock out the shoes. So we're just taking shapes so that we can slice everything up so that we can have this look like it's still showing as a part of that. There we go. And we're going to slice. And we're going to take the black and get rid of it. And we got our shoes now. And we're going to get rid of that. So now we have all of our different components. And we're going to see how many mats. I'm going to take and see how many mats it's going to say that we're going to need to complete this task. So we want to make sure that we have everything on here that we're going to need. So all of our components should now be brought out. And you don't have to worry about the layering because Cricut is going to place these all in order for us here based on colors. So we're going to click on Make It. And what you're going to find is that you're not going to have any size restrictions. Okay. So you're going to need 1, 2, 3 pieces of white cardstock and 1 piece of pink cardstock and 1 piece of red cardstock. Now let me go back and find my black portion because I want to go ahead and get that out of the way too. There we go. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 pieces of cardstock that's 12 by 12. And then we're going to have I'm going to shift this around to see if okay. It kind of took us over a little bit, but that's okay. We'll just take our 12 by 12. We'll just take our 12 by 12 and put it on the mat. But we're going to need 2 pieces of 12 by 12. and then we're going to need the pink and the red. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start placing my cardstock on here so that I can get everything cut out. So we're going to start out with the head here. And again, this is 12 by 12. So I'm going to go ahead and load my paper. Give me 1 second. Take a look at one thing here. Okay. I think I'm going to be good. Hold on 1 second. I'm just double checking my white here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the hands, I'm going to get the hands to go on this slide right here so that way I'll only have to use 2 sheets of white instead of 3 sheets of white. So I am going to get this to come over some for me. And I think that's going to be good because the white that I'm using is a little bit, it's actually 11 by 12, I think. Okay, so that won't be fine, and then that won't be fine. Okay, we're going to print this one out by itself, and I'm going to go back and take out some of the space on this bottom one here, on the bottom half of Mickey. Give me 1 second. So I am going to bring that one up. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're going to hide everything for just a second. I just want to see the black portion. So I can work with it because it has some, see all that space in there. And that's why it's giving me that issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add another shape here. And it's just that little dot right there, which I'm not going to be concerned about that. But I'm going to slice this. Make sure I got that dot in there. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit more. And I'm going to slice this so that I don't have all that space in there because I want the black to be able to go on 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. So we're going to delete that. And we're going to delete that. Okay. So now I should be good to get them all like I need them. Again, there is no printing. This is all cardstock. All cardstock. There's no printing in this project. So we're going to click on Make It. And again, I'm going to bring these fingers over. And I'm going to kind of twirl it a little bit there. And that one is good. And that one is good. So now you can see that the black is on, is going to be where I can use 2 pieces of 12 by 12. And then we got our pink and our red. So we're good to go now. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to load up everything onto my mats here. And I think I'm going to use my I'm going to use my 12 by 12 mat just so that I can show you guys that only have a 12 by 12 mat and not a 12 by 24. So I'm going to stop here. I just want to make sure that you can see everything that I'm doing. So all I'm going to be doing is just cutting out from here. That's it. You're not going to mirror anything. You're not going to change the mat size on anything. So I'm going to go ahead and stop, and I'm going to bring it up where you can see me. Hey guys, so I wanted to do the prints with you. So I'm going to be using 3 sheets of my 11 by 14 white poster board paper. I'm just going to use default when I get ready to cut these because they are a little bit thicker than cardstock for all of my white pieces. So I'm going to use 3 sheets of the white here. So I wanted to do the cuts with you. So let me go ahead and check out because, you know, you got to pay for this character. It's not free. All right. So we got that taken care of. So now I can cut it out. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the very first one here. All right. So I'm going to be choosing, I'm just going to go with heavy cardstock. And I'm going to just hope for the best that it's going to cut. If not, then I'll just put it back in and have it to go twice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out the white one, and then I'm going to pause when it's done. All right, so this is the first part of my Mickey that cut out. So again, I did, this time I put it on heavy cardstock, and it cut through on the first go round. Now this is poster board. It is not cardstock, okay? It's poster board. So I'm just taking out all the parts that don't belong. And then I'm going to use my spatula. All right, I had to free up some space there. But here is all of the pieces that I'm going to be needing for the top part of my Mickey, the white backing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my spatula. And I like to keep all of my colors separated. So I'm just going to take this piece of cardstock here, and as I pull them up, I'm going to place them down on here so that I'll know where they are at all times. So I'm going to walk through this, guys. If you have to fast forward through any portion of this, then feel free, but I want to walk through the entire process because otherwise I know I'll get lots of questions about what did I do. So I'm just pulling up my white backing part, and my mat is really sticky, so that's why it's been a little hard here. There's the top part of the white backing. And then I like to keep the fingers when they're separated. I like to keep them kind of together so I know what I'm doing with them when I get ready to put them on my Mickey. So I know that that goes somewhat like that. And then just keep everything together when it's really separated. And what I mean by separated is when it's really cut up, you want to keep it as close to, you know, the pieces that it go to. All right, so I got that first mat that was cut. I got all of those components together, so I don't have to worry about what's what. So I'm just gonna put this on here to keep it all together. Just like that, and then I'll put my other parts on top of this. This is just keeping everything together. All right, we're gonna cut out the next piece of white here. I'm gonna go back to Cricut Design Space. And now we're going on to the bottom portion, the bottom part of the white. So this is the bottom half. And again, I'm using 11 by 14 poster board. I got these at Walmart. And I'll tell you in just a minute how many sheets came in there. But this project, guys, and I'm showing you is for those of you that only have the 12 by 12 mat, because I do have a 12 by 24, but I wanted to show you how you can still accomplish this task with the smaller mat and the smaller size papers. And I have it again on heavy cardstock because this is poster board. This poster board came with 12 poster boards in here, and I got it from Walmart. I don't remember how much I paid for it, to be honest with you, but you can check Walmart out. So this is going to print, or excuse me, not print, but cut out the lower half of our mini, the white portion. And then we have one more white portion with the shoes and the Mickey's face. So this one shouldn't take that long. So all in all, I think it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's about 8 sheets of cardstock. I think it's going to be about. I'll recount it here in just a moment just to be certain. All right. So lower half of Mickey. And this one will be easier to take off because it pretty much cut it in one piece and not a whole bunch of pieces. And again, my mat is very sticky, so that's why it's taking a little bit more time to pull this up. If it was just regular cardstock, it would come off a little bit easier. And I don't want the white to start pulling or sticking to my mat, so just be kind of careful here. But again, I'm going to use my spatula to help pull everything up. I'm going to try to do the roll method with my mat, where you roll your mat backwards to keep the image from rolling up. You roll your mat backwards. Mat. And there we go. So that's going to be the top half of our mini or Mickey. And I'm just going to put this with the other part. So all of that's together. And we're going to now go on to the lower half, which is now the last piece of the white, which is going to be the face part of Mickey and the shoes. So again, this took about 3 pieces of the 11 by 14 cardstock or poster board. All right, so we're going to load this one up. A little piece of white poster board stuck on there. All right, poster board. And we're going to go ahead and cut out our last little part of the white. So this project is really easy. If you have a laptop, you got your 12 by 12 mat and you have the appropriate colors of cardstock. It's just a matter of what image you're going to use. Again, you want to use a scalable vector graphic, which is an SVG file. This is not going to work for your JPG, okay? It may work for some of your PNGs. It just depends on how it was made and if it comes all cut up. And if it does, then you can use the PNG. If it's just one whole image when you get it in a Cricut Design Space, then this will not work. All right, almost done with the white. Now the black, I'm going to be using 2 sheets of 12 by 12, and this is cardstock, so it's a little bit more flimsy than my poster board, but this is great because it's just going to be extra backing for our image. So if you have birthday parties or something like that that you need to make these for, or you're making it for your kids' room or something like that, then this is the way you can get around having to worry about cut size limitations in Cricut Design Space. Again, there is no printing involved in this. My cutting machine is the Cricut Maker. No, it is not the new one. It is the old one. I've had my cutting machine now for going on 6 years, if not longer. So now we have our shoes and Mickey's face. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. So there's our Mickey face. Go ahead and put that in there with the rest of the white pieces. And we're gonna go ahead and get his little mouth part. So I'm keeping all of the colors together, guys, so that I don't have to worry about where's all my white pieces. I have everything I need when I start putting this baby together. So we got our shoes. And shoes. All right, so we don't need this part of the mouth, and we don't need those parts of the inside of that shoe. Okay, so all the white is done now. So now we're moving on to the black part, and we're gonna start out with the lower half of Mickey. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut off these little square pieces because that's some white that I can use at a later time. So I don't have to throw some of that. You know how sometimes you run into where you just need a little bitty piece of white? Well, that's gonna be my reason to keep that. Always save whatever scraps you can. Just go ahead and cut them down to size so that it makes sense. All right, so now we're going in with the black. I'm using 12 by 12, or I could have put this on 12 by 24 and had, both mats. But again, since I'm trying to show you how to do it, for those of you that only have a 12 by 12 mat. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this cut out. And I probably could have changed this one to medium cardstock because that's what it is. So it shouldn't be a problem. But I could always go in and change the material type. All right, so again, our image is going to be 22 inches tall, okay? Our character is going to be, our Mickey is going to be 22 inches tall. Almost done. All right, so that's the lower half of Mickey. And again, I'm going to save a little bit of this, and then I'll cut it down to size because there's always instances where you may need just a little piece of black, and not a whole sheet of it. All right, so now we have the lower half. I'm going to keep all the colors together. Go ahead and add my second piece of black cardstock so that we can do the top part of Mickey. And this is to keep you from having to cut your Mickey into 5 and 6 different pieces. It's not necessary. Based on the way I'm showing you here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get the top half of Mickey. And since that's pretty good, I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on heavy cardstock. And we're almost done. We just have the pink and the red to do. So like I said, really easy to do. The most time consuming part is going to be just making sure that you go ahead and get your sizing appropriate inside Cricut Design Space. Once you get it to the height and width that you want, you can't adjust it. Don't adjust it, because if you do, if you decrease the size of the black background, then your clothes are not going to fit. So you want to make sure you don't do any adjustments once you size it. And then I'll take some scissors later and I'll go in and cut like I need it. So this is again just our black part of our Mickey. So that's our head. We're going to go ahead and put that on. We can trash that. I think we can trash that little piece. So now we're going to move on now to our last 2 cuts, which is going to be the heart and his shorts. Okay, so the heart is going on pink because I didn't want to keep it the same color of the shorts. So we're just going to use 8.5 by 11 pink. We don't need more than that. And I'm going to leave it on heavy cardstock. And then we're going to start taping them together. Now on my Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse, I glued it. I kind of prefer the glue because it ensures that no parts of it is sticking up. And I'll show you here in just a second. Using the double-sided tape, it's a little bit more tricky to make sure that you have it all of your pieces laying down flat. And you don't want to have any tape on the front of it because that defeats the purpose of doing it this way. The reason we're doing it this way is to avoid having anything to show as a cut or a slice on the front part of our Mickey Mouse. All right, so now we have the heart. And since this is kind of big, I don't need to space it out as much. And then we're going to do our red, which will be the shorts. I was about to say the shorts. All right, so now we're going to do the shorts. And we're going to get that out of the way. Supposed to be a part of this, but we'll see. Always have a picture of the original character before you started, cutting them up so that you can refer back to piecing the pieces together. It's kind of like a puzzle when we get ready to start taping here in just a moment. So this is let's see, not this one. I'll show you guys the glue that I used yesterday. when I glued the other one together. Today I'm going to try tape and see if it is a little bit easier. We'll see. All right, all pieces are cut. We got his little shorts and everything. Okay. And we can put our mat over there. So I'm going to refer back to my image here. Because I just want to make sure that, okay, so I did throw away the piece of his mouth. I thought that it was supposed to be red, but it is white. So I'm going to find that little piece here. Because I definitely think I threw it in the trash, and I may have put it over to the side, but we'll figure it out here in just a moment. Let's see. Nothing yucky in here because it's all craft stuff. Okay, I'll find it in a moment. All right, so I have a picture of my Mickey so that I can look at it to see where everything is supposed to go. Of course, the black is going to be definitely on the bottom. So what I'm going to aim this down a little bit here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And so we're going to take and go ahead and tape our top portion first. So we'll get that done. So we're going to flip it in the reverse so that we'll put the tape on the back, and it's not going to show. This tape is not going to be shown here. So I'm going to use just my regular Scotch tape here for this part. Okay. And remember the white, a lot of the white is going to be laying on here, so I'm not so concerned about, you know, one little nick here showing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that tape on there. And I'm going to add another little piece down here on the bottom. And again, this part is the back, and it's not going to be showing, so you don't have to, you know, truly worry. Just going to cut this a little bit. All right. So there we have now our Mickey. And this is the front. Okay. So you're going to be taping your clothes and things on top, so you don't have to worry about that little cut because you won't be able to see it. Okay. All right, so that's the top part. Now we're going to go ahead and start layering our white pieces. And I'm going to start with the face, the white part of the face first. Now you can use glue, you can use double-sided tape. Yesterday I used the invisible glue because you are, you know, putting it on black. You don't want it to be seen. So we're going to start out with Mickey's face. We're going to put that on first. So let's take a look at where that should go here. And actually, before I do that, I really don't think, I think I can put this white piece on the back because really I did not need it now that I've printed it all out. So I can end up putting that on the back to make it a little bit more sturdier. And that's what I may do because this is our white pieces. So we really don't need that white part. So I just cut those out for no reason. So it's actually less pieces than what I actually told you guys. All right, so we're gonna get our Mickey's face in and make sure that it looks all nice and neat. And the little hand part. So I'm just taking a look back at my Mickey, just making sure that everything looks right. So we're going to take and just make sure we got his fingers going in the right direction. So that's going to be the fingers. And this is the other part of the hand. We're just going to go. Let me blow my image up here. Hold on one second. Okay. So this is going to go like that. So remember I told you it's kind of like doing a puzzle. You want to make sure that you kind of look at everything before you start taping it down, because you don't want to get it all taped down and realize you made a mistake or glued down and then you got glue all over the place. All right, so we got that. And the heart, go ahead and get shoes out of the way. So, shoes are going to be like that. Okay, so we got our shoes. We have this little heart, which is going to be like this. Like that. And then we have his shorts. And his shorts are going to be like that. Okay. Everything lined up here. And it actually looks like his fingers are going to be, let's see, this finger goes like that. So, nope, it's gonna be like this. So I got one little piece that I'm missing. Let me go back to my white. Okay. So we got that. I think I dropped one of my whites. It's gonna be like that. All right. And okay. That part is no good. Okay. So set all my whites over here, and then think I missed a piece after all. Hold on one second. There it is. All right. So our fingers are going to go like that. So you see how it's going to kind of cover up that little bit of a slice there. Like that. And we're going to take and put this hand is going to go like this. Like that. We kind of shifted it a little bit, but it's gonna go like that. Okay, so we have our hand, we got our mouth or a face. Got to get my little mouthpiece that goes in there. We got our heart. We got his little shorts. And I will continue to move these until I get them positioned right, but I just want to make sure I've accounted for everything. All of my pieces. And we don't need this because that doesn't go there. So all I have to do is I'm going to find the little part of his mouth. And then once I find that little piece of his mouth, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to putting it all together so I can stand them up and let you see it. And I think I'll go ahead and put the white on the back just so that'll be extra backing since I did go ahead and cut it out. But you really don't need that white backing because it's already accounted for with the individual white pieces, okay? So I'm gonna pause you, I'm gonna find the mouthpiece, and then I'll come back and we'll start gluing. All right, guys, so now I have my Mickey all together. I did put the white on the back, so you see a little bit of the white outline, which is fine. If you don't want that, then just don't add that white. So that's one step that you can not do if you don't want to. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start putting my tape on. Now this time I'm gonna use tape just so you guys can see what I mean about, with the tape, you do have to make sure that you get all your edges laying flat down because if you don't, it's going to be kind of sticking up. I didn't really have that problem with the glue, so that's why I use glue. Let's see if I can get this crazy double-sided tape to come up. And if not, I may be going with glue again. All right, let's see. It's really sticky. Okay, not wasting much time on it. So I'm going to go ahead and use my little glue stick here. But you want to make sure, again, that you're looking at your image and that you are putting everything as it's supposed to go. One thing about the glue that I used yesterday, I'm going to show it to you here in just a second because I may end up having to use it because this may not hold as nice as I want it to, but it dries clear, and once it's on there, it's on there. So you're not going to be able to do a lot of maneuvering like you would with your double-sided tape. So put that down so you guys can see here. Let me get this out my way. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lay Mickey's face down. Just like that. I'm going to hold it a second. I had some glue apparently on my finger and didn't realize it. So I'm wiping it off on this cardstock over here. All right, so you just want to make sure that you press it down all over and that it's not sticking up anywhere. All right, and I found the mouthpiece that I was missing, and it was like at the very bottom of my trash can, which only makes sense because that's normally what happens when you're looking for something. It's like super hiding from you. So go ahead and add your mouth or tongue, shall I say. So we got the tongue in there. And next up, we're going to go with our fingers that go over here on the side. So we're going to go ahead and get those on. So remember, the most time-consuming part is cutting out all of the components and then just piecing it together to make sure everything is in the right position. Okay. And I'm going to take this one. So lay like that. And again, you want to make sure that it's, when you're pressing, that you press the whole thing because you want to make sure it's laying down flat. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get our heart in there. So always check the positioning first before you add it. Okay. So the heart's going to go like that. Actually, like that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these other fingers on so I can make sure that this sits right. So we're going to start out with getting our fingers on. Okay, so your fingers are going to go like that, down like that. So we're going to go ahead and glue that. Down. And we're going to take our second piece of the fingers, and this piece is going to go like that, just like that. Let's just take a look. I think I got it down a little bit lower than what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be up a little bit. So I might have to glue that one again. And then here, like that. There we go. I keep getting confused there on that little piece. And then that's going to be our pants. And then that other little finger is going to go right there. Okay. So go ahead and glue this on. Like that. And we can go ahead and glue the heart on now. I'll lay that down so I get a nice amount of glue. Okay. Oops. Okay. So we got our heart on. We're going to lay the shorts down, and then we'll do that little bitty pinky finger. Okay. Got our shorts. And we're going to put that little finger right in there. Okay. That up a little bit. Like that. Alrighty. So now we got our shorts on, we got our hands together, got our tongue inside, and all we have left to do are the shoes. So Mickey's gonna be giving Minnie a heart here in just a second, and we're gonna see if she's gonna accept it. All right, so we got our shoes. I have to take some towel and get up all this glue I'm getting over on the side of my table because I'll be wondering why it's sticky. We're going to do our last shoe, which is going there. And again, this project, I'm using my laptop computer. I'm using cardstock minus the white. I'm using 11 by 14 poster board that I got from Walmart. And you see me using the glue stick. I use a little bit of regular Scotch tape to glue the backings together. I use my 12 by 12 green mat. There we go. And you just want to make sure that you do press down on all of it so that it all lays flat down. And we have everything. So let's hold it up like that. And there we have our Mickey with the little heart, all the little components, all glued. There was no printing involved. And like I said, if you don't like the white, then you don't have to use the white backing. So that's just some extra white that you don't have to use, but it will make it a little bit sturdier. And you can always take a marker, a black marker, and go around the edges to get rid of the white that you see, or you can cut it. I'm gonna leave it because it's not a deal breaker for me. So here we have both of our characters made out of cardstock, no printing, our Mickey and our Minnie. So she's a little bit taller than he is. She's 23 and a half and he's 22, and they're both 11 by 5 for the width size is what I went with. So there you have it. That is how you can get around having any type of slice or what have you. You can maneuver the top part so that the slice would be more along in the middle of the heart to try to avoid that little piece right there showing a slice, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not like having a slice going across the middle of the face or the bottom here where you can see a full cut. So those are our characters, guys. Okay. 23 and a half, 11 by 5 by 23 and a half, 11 by 5 by 22. And I did 22 because I wanted to be able to slice it in half and still have that little bit of room because I was using 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. So 11 and 11 is 22. So that's why I went with that sizing, just to make sure I gave myself enough room. All right. So you can accomplish this, guys, with using just a 12 by 12 green mat, cardstock, and your cutting machine, a little bit of glue or double-sided tape, Scotch tape just to get the back together. And like I said, on my Mini, I used 12 by 24 cardstock, and then it was gray in color, and I spray painted it black. So that's why that one is black. But I used 2 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock to accomplish the black on the Mickey. And then I put that white backing. Now you don't have to do the white backing. That's just extra cardstock you don't have to use. But if you want it a little bit sturdier, then by all means go for it. All right. All right, guys. If you have any questions about this process, then please feel free to reach out to me. I will be more than glad to help you with the process. Like I said, the most time consuming part is going to be just getting it sliced, in the right place inside Cricut Design Space. Making sure that once you size it to 22 or whatever and you slice it, that you don't make any adjusting to the sizes because then the clothes won't fit. So, go ahead. That's why I took care of the sizing first before I did the slicing. And I will list again in the description for this video all of the supplies that I used. Okay. But this is how you can accomplish getting away with cutting larger than your size limitations in Cricut Design Space, and using cardstock that's 12 by 12. And then some you saw I was using 11 by 7, 8.5 by 11, because it only required, like with the pants, it only required a little small piece, and the heart was just one little small piece. So I wanted to be able to show you that. Now, some people ask me, well, why did you show us how to do the print and cut in larger with the slice? Because I want to give you options based on what it is you need. You may not have cardstock in all of these different colors, so then you would need to print it. So if you haven't seen that video tutorial, then go back through my playlist and you'll find that video tutorial to show you how you can do print then cut on your laptop computer. Larger than your size restriction, 6.75 by 9.25 inside Cricut Design Space, how you can use slice to get around that. And that's it, guys. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in the comments and let me know. I'll do everything I can to help you. If you're currently subscribed or a member of my Facebook group, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters, thank you guys so much for trusting in me and my group. If you're not a member and you would like to join, then just send me a Facebook group request to Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. And if you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much, guys, for the support on my YouTube channel. And if not, and you like my method of teaching, then please, please, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. All right. All right, guys, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And my motto is each one reach one, so that each one can teach one. And I'm going to be sending these to my granddaughter because I think she would absolutely love them. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great day. Bye.